Okay, this one is not going to be as funny, you guys, because remember how I told you she threatened that she wasn't going to let me in? Well, let me just tell you, that bitch didn't forget a thing. No, she didn't. So I was thinking, oh, whatever. She's not even going to remember this tomorrow. Yeah, right. Okay, so it was a Wednesday and I took her to a hair appointment. You guys heard all about that. So this is now Thursday. She told me as I was leaving on that Wednesday, I won't open the door if you come back. She remembered. So I get to my shift and it was 7 in the morning. I pull in the driveway, walk up to the door, and the door was completely shut. So I rang the doorbell. I'm like, okay, here we go again, another miserable day. I rang the doorbell once, waited a couple minutes, nothing. She'd usually answer the door on the first or second ring because she always, she knew who was approaching her house. She didn't come. The second ring, fourth ring on the doorbell, she didn't come. And this was in the dead of summer, you guys. We wore scrubs and tennis shoes with socks. It wasn't weather-friendly attire to be standing outside for a long time because it gets like 110, sometimes higher here. I was probably standing there for about 20 minutes. She would not come to the door. So then I started knocking on it, pounding on it. And I'm like, is she really not going to let me in? So then 15 minutes goes by and I'm starting to sweat. She wouldn't answer the door. And I'm looking in the windows because she had window on this side, and then her big, huge double front door. Not double front door, but the door and then the screen type thingy. So I go to the left side and I look in the windows and I'm like, oh, hell no. She better be sleeping is all I gotta say. I didn't see anything. So I go to the other side and I look in there and I didn't see her. I didn't see anything. So then I ring the doorbell for a fifth time. And it was 20 minutes now that I was standing out there. So I get in my car. I parked in her driveway. You know how she got pissed because oil stains in her driveway. She didn't want me parking there. I don't remember if I told you guys that already or not. She went off on me about parking in her driveway because of oil stains. Yeah, she went off on me one time about that. Park your car down the road. You don't park in my driveway. I didn't want oil stains in my driveway. I'm like, Missy, this is a brand new car. Literally a brand new car. My husband just bought it for me right before I got hired. And it was brand new. I says, there's not gonna be no oil stains. I said, but okay, I'll move it. So I parked my car in the driveway because it was so freaking hot and her house was, way up on a hill. Even her driveway was way up on a hill. So I had to walk all the way up the hill from what she lived in a cul-de-sac. And there was always cars piled up. So I had to literally park halfway down the road and then walk up her long driveway. I wasn't gonna do it. I'm sorry. Too damn hot. So I parked in her driveway. So I got and I sit in my car. I'm waiting there and then I text my boss and I said, I am sitting out here. I've been sitting out here for 20 minutes. She won't open the door. I'm sweating my butt off. So I got in my car and I'm sitting in her driveway. 10 minutes goes by and he goes, get out and go ring the doorbell again. Sometimes she does this. She just doesn't want to let anybody in, so she'll ignore you. I was like, but I just did that. She's not opening the door. He's like, okay, just go try it one more time. And then if she doesn't answer the door, you can call me back. Get back out there, go up to the door, ring it. I'm standing there. Ring it again. Still nothing. I'm dripping with sweat at this time. So I go back in my car and text my boss again. She's still not opening the door. So he said, okay. He said, go around back to her house. Go to her back door. He said her screen door is never locked. Her back patio screen door. Go back there and go straight in. He's like, just make sure you kind of, you don't startle her or scare her. Just make yourself known that you're there if you see her. I'm thinking, she's gonna scare me? No, I'm scared of her. Hello, she needs to... She needs to warn me where she's at. No, you got this wrong, sir. I go around back to her house. She's laying there on that bench that she always does. You know how I told you. On her back with her knees up and her arms folded. And she's laying there and she's sleeping. Or she's pretending to sleep. So I walk up to the back screen porch and I knocked on it, tapped on it. She wouldn't even budge or look or nothing. So I knocked on it a little harder. I know she heard me. She opened her eyes and she turned her head and she looked at me and she goes, what are you doing here? I told you I'm not going to let you in and I'm not letting you in. And she turned her head facing the other way. And my boss told me that he goes, if she doesn't let you in her back screen or if it's locked for some reason, because normally it's not locked, but if it is locked, there's a little hole in the screen that you can put your finger through and slide the lock. And then you can just open the screen. And I told him, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with that. That's like breaking and entering. I don't know how I feel about that. He's like, oh no, all the caregivers do it when they won't let her in. I'm like, oh, so this is like a normal thing for her? He said, yeah, she does this a lot. So I said, Missy, you have to let me in. I have to clock in and tell, my company that I'm here. Otherwise, everybody's going to worry. And they want to know if you're okay as well. And she wouldn't look at me. And she goes, I told you I wasn't going to let you in. I don't know why you're here. So then I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to sit here and argue with her. I'm dripping with sweat. I'm not in a good mood. put my finger in the screen and I slid the lock. And that lock was so loud. It was like the biggest clink, but thank God she didn't look. And I was like, okay, cool. I think either she fell back asleep or she knew what I was doing, but she's just ignoring me. Then I walk in, she won't look at me or nothing. So then I go in the house and I clock in. Then I put my bag down, my purse down, same routine, and I go back out there. I had a choice to sit at the island because you know, you guys, I do that sometimes. When she's being a real bee, I'll just sit at the island and read my magazine. Then I was like, no, I'm gonna go see if she's gonna be ugly to me or not. I go out there, I sit down. I have my phone, not my magazine. About an hour. I think she really did fall asleep because she didn't budge. A whole hour goes by and I'm just on my phone, briefly looking up at her. Then finally she gets up and she sits up. Her glasses are on the little table, like right in front of her. So she sits up and her eyes are closed this whole time. She was, you know, and she's going like this with her hair, you know. She's fixing it. Her eyes are still closed and she's still like fluffing it and like doing this, and she goes and she's stretching her neck and she still wouldn't open her eyes or look at me. And then, you know, she's still messing with her hair, and then she opens her eyes to look down to find her glasses and she sees them, picks them up, and she's cleaning her glasses with her shirt. And then I said, did you have a good nap, Miss C? And she goes, oh, and she like drops her glasses in her lap and she caught them with her legs. And she's like putting her glasses on because, you know, I told you she shakes and she's like this, putting her glasses on, and she goes, you nearly scared me to death. I didn't know what to think or say because I'm like, she heard me come in. She heard me talk to her. She was a drama queen, the biggest drama queen. Oh my God. So I said, I apologize. I said, I thought you heard me come in. I was talking to you. And she's just giving me the most evil look. And so she stands up and then she goes, I told you I didn't want you here. And I said, well, unfortunately, I don't have a choice and neither do you. I have to be here. And so she just goes in the house. Then I could see her silhouette and she goes to the back bedroom. And then I get up because it was hot out there. Not as hot as, you know, because she had the ceiling fan and she had a little window unit. So it wasn't that hot, but it was still hot. So I went inside because she went inside. I don't see her. So I sit in her like dining area. I've never sat there before, and I never, you know, I just walked past it. I've never actually sat in there. So I sat in there and I'm like, I'm gonna sit on this couch. I'm gonna see what she says to me. She's gonna go off about like, oh, that couch is special, get off of it with your evil powers or something. So sometimes I was getting testy with her because she, you know, she's so ugly. So I sat on the couch and I'm like, I can't wait till she sees me. I can't wait to see what she's gonna say. Get your fat ass off my couch, bitch. I don't know, who knows? I didn't know what to expect. So I'm like sitting on the couch and I'm like chuckling to myself because I know she's gonna go off on me. Like I don't know what she's gonna say, but I had a feeling. So she comes walking in and she's standing there and she's looking at me and she crosses her arms and she's just looking at me. And I'm looking at her and I give her a half smile like that. And she's still glaring at me. It wasn't a mad dog, but it was just a glare. So I said, Missy, I said, this is a really beautiful dining room. I really like it. It's really bright and there's a lot of windows. And she's still staring at me like I didn't even say anything. She starts walking towards me and it was the scariest thing because she was looking right at me. And then I was like just kind of smiling at her and I said, do you ever sit in here? Like I was like getting chills up and down my back like, oh my god, she's gonna come, she's gonna hit me, she's going to attack me, because she wasn't talking about it, she was walking towards me. Then the next thing she goes like with the most serious face and she's walking towards me like robotic. She didn't say anything, and then she like bends down and slaps her knees in like kind of a bent down, you know, position, and she goes, hi kitty 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 kitty, hi kitty kitty. When she did that I jumped. I was like, oh god. And I went like this because she was looking past my shoulder at this time, and there was like 1,400 cats in her backyard right behind me, and they were all like just sliding up and down the glass window. I was like, Jesus, oh my god. And then she walked right past me, gets on her couch in the knee position, you know, and bends over her couch on her knees, and she's tapping the glass and talking to the kittens, and there was kittens and cats and just a bunch of stray cats. And she's like, I guess, hi kitty 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 kitty, are you hungry kitty 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 kitty? Every time she would tap the window when she would say that. And then I scoot over because she like was right next to me. I scoot over and I turn to look at her just to watch her because she was like just tripped me out, blowing my mind. Then I said, oh wow. I said, that's a lot of cats. And I knew this was a stupid question, but I didn't know what to say. Like it just came out. It was so dumb, but I was like, are they all your cats? I'm like, are they all yours? And she turns and looks at me and she goes, do you think I own about 20 cats? No, they're not mine. They're strays and I feed them. No wonder there was about 1 million of them because she was feeding them. So yeah, cats do that. You feed them, they're always going to come back. I stood up and I'm looking over the couch outside because I was just mesmerized by how many cats there were. I'm a cat woman. I love cats. But then I look around and I see like 30 or 40 pounds of cat food. Bag after bag after bag after bag after bag of them. Dry food. And I was like, oh my God, she literally is feeding the whole freaking neighborhood of cats. She is. So yeah, she was feeding all of these cats. And I said, I remember you telling me about your cat and you know how your cat passed. So, well, now you have several other cats to keep you company. And she didn't look at me. She just kept looking straight and kept tapping the window, talking, kitty, kitty. She goes, mm-hmm. That's kind of just what she did to me when I said that. And then she turns and looks at me, really, really sweet voice, and she goes, would you mind going and feeding the cats for me, please? Poor cats. Some had mange. Some had eye infections. Some kept itching and itching. You know they had fleas or ticks or something. A couple of them would back their ass up against the her glass window and spray. Like the male cats would spray her window. And she's like, kitty, 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 kitty. They would be spraying her and she'd just be talking to them still. I was like, oh my God, what am I watching? And I didn't want to go near those fucking cats. Like, are you kidding me? I said, sure. And then there was she was right, probably about 15, 20 of them. I exaggerated a little bit about how much I first said there was. So I said, where are their bowls and how would you like me to feed them? Because I was coming up with a plan in my head, like how to get around it. How to say I did, but really don't kind of thing. I wasn't getting on their fucking cats. I wasn't getting near them. I wasn't gonna touch them. Poor things probably had diseases and stuff. It was just awful. She goes, the bowls are over there. You just give 1 scoop in each bowl. And there was 4 bowls. I said, okay, and I just go put it outside. And she goes, mm-hmm. And then she goes back to the glass window. It was like the freaking, what was it, Finding Nemo? When that little girl in the dentist's office is like, fishy, fishy, fishy. That's how she was. She's like, kitty, 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 kitty. God, she did it over and over and over. She wouldn't shut up. I put the scoops in the bowls and I carried 2 bowls in one hand and 2 bowls in this hand, one on top of each other. Pushed the door open with my foot because it wasn't shut all the way. And I'm like, okay, I am going to slowly walk up to them. And if they're not afraid of me, then I'm putting these bowls down right here and I'm getting back in that house. But if they are afraid of me and they scatter off, then I'll put them where she wants me to put them. So as I was walking up to them, they all turned and looked at me. 4 or 5 of them hissed at me like demons. And then they just took off running. They just scattered. And I was like, thank God. So I hurried and I put the bowls down. And as I was turning around to go back in the house, I hear this really faint like that. I turn around and there's a baby kitten. Brand new baby kitten. Not brand new, but like really new. I was like, oh my God. It was like that big. So cute. My heart melted. And that little meow. Oh my God. It was 2 seconds. I was going to do it. I was going to pick it up. I was 2 seconds from picking it up. I couldn't resist a kitten. I can't. So as I was going over there to pick it, I was like, oh, and I went over there to pick it up. It didn't look like the other cats did. You know what I mean? Like sick or mange or anything like that. So as I was going to pick this kitten up, I'm bending down and then I hear the biggest hiss, like awful hiss. And I turn and look up and I guess that was the mama or the daddy. I'm figuring the mama. Oh shit, bye. So I turn around and I like walk fast and this cat started chasing me. And so I flung open her screen door and I shut it and I turn around and she's standing right there and she goes, why are you running?
Why are you running?
I said, that cat was chasing me. And she goes, probably because you scared it. I said, that cat scared me. I was trying to... I said, you know, whatever. I fed your cats, okay? I fed them. I walked past her and I said, I have to go to the bathroom. I was so frustrated. I wasn't going to explain to her. I'm like, forget it. So she sits back out on the bench and I go in the bathroom. I go back out. And then I said, Missy, it's lunchtime. I said, what would you like me to get you or fix you? 4th day working with this woman. She goes, actually, I do want you to get me something. I said, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, I want a cheeseburger with just the patty and mayonnaise. I don't want cheese. I just want the patty and mayonnaise from McDonald's. 1 cheeseburger. I was like, wow. Is she really like gonna not eat her little sandwich and cookie combo? Like, what the heck? I said, okay, absolutely. I said, I would love to get that for you. She was like, remember, 1 patty, no cheese, and mayonnaise. I said, do you want fries with that or a drink? She goes, nope, just that, just what I said. And she goes, go get my wallet and my purse. The cheeseburgers at McDonald's are probably like not even $1, like, or maybe $1, whatever. So I said, no, I got it. I'll pay for it. Don't you worry about it. Let me get the hell out of here. And I'm going to act like I got lost on the way to McDonald's. Just to get a breather. And so I said, okay, yes, I'll absolutely get that for you. And I will be right back. And, you know, I won't be long. So I get my purse and I'm like, thank you, Jesus, I get a break. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. She wants me to go get her something. I go to McDonald's and I get her little cheeseburger, special ordered. And I go back to the house. Front door's locked. Ring the doorbell, no answer. Walk around to the back of the house. She wasn't there. And guess what? The screen door was locked. And that hole was patched up where I put my finger through to slide it open. She had tape all on it. Duct tape. I said, did this bitch just really send me for a fucking fake phantom cheeseburger just to lock me out? I was like, I started laughing because, you know, that's what I do. I just laugh to myself a lot. I'm like, because I'm thinking this in my head and I'm like, this is like a Lifetime movie. Even when I told my family this and I told my boss this, like nobody could believe it. Like they were just, yeah. I put the cheeseburger bag down next to me and there was like this stick. I had my purse on my shoulder. I was gonna get a pin out of my purse, but then I saw that stick and I'm like, okay. So I pick up the twig, if you want to call it. It reminded me a lot of her, twig. And I shoved that twig through that duct tape. Sure in hell did. And I stabbed that bitch and it popped right open, like tape just fell off. And I was like, stuck my little finger in there, opened it, grabbed her damn cheeseburger, and I marched my ass in that house. And I'm like looking for her, pissed. And then I don't see her. So I'm figuring, oh, she's in her bedroom. So I walk back there to her bedroom with her cheeseburger bag, and there she is laying on her bed. And I open the door because you know how she always left it cracked. So I pushed it open, and she's laying there on her back like she always does with her knees up and her arms crossed. And I said, Miss C, here's your cheeseburger with no cheese and just mayonnaise and a patty. And she jumps again. Like every time I talk to her, she's just so over dramatic, like I can even whisper and she would do that. She would just be so over the top. And it would make me laugh every time. But, you know, at this point I was mad, so I didn't laugh. But I was just like, here's your cheeseburger. And she goes, how did you get in here? And you scared me to death again. And I said, oh, I got in through the back because you didn't open the front. And she goes, it was locked. And I said, no, it wasn't. She goes, oh, well, it wasn't locked, but it was taped up. And I said, yes, it was. And she goes, well, you put your finger through the tape and opened the door. I said, yes, I did, because you sent me to go get you lunch. And I'm standing out there and it's hot and you weren't answering the door. So she gets up off her bed. She comes walking towards me. And she walks right past me. I'm holding out her bag to her, like, here's your cheeseburger. She just walks right past me. I went to the kitchen and I put her cheeseburger bag down on her island. And she walks around the island because I'm on this side. And she walks around. And so she's standing in front and I'm standing behind where the chairs are. And I said, here's your cheeseburger. And she goes, thank you. And she grabs the bag, like really, so kind and sweet, and just, I was like, oh God, she's gonna flip out. This is what she does. She does this before she flips out. So she grabs the bag, and then I was like, oh, thank God she's gonna eat and just leave me alone. She goes like this, and then she goes like this, and she drops it right into the trash. Her trash can was right there. And I'm looking at her, and then she goes, did you really think I was gonna eat McDonald's? And I said, did you just threw that in the trash? And she goes, yeah. I don't eat McDonald's every day like you do. That's why you're so chubby. She always said it to me. I said, okay, you sent me out just to get rid of me and I buy your food, which, wasn't even buying her food. It was a dang $1, and I bring it to you and you just throw it in the trash, and then you call me a name and make fun of me. And she's just looking at me. So then I go and fill in the logbook. I said, okay, I'm just gonna go fill in my logbook, and you can make your own lunch. So she starts making her lunch, and I was furious. So she threw that away. Like, go feed your damn cats with that shit. Don't throw it in the trash. So I fill out the logbook, and I'm just like, oh my God, get me out of here. Then she eats her lunch and she goes out, and she's eating her lunch very slowly. And then I go to the island and I'm filling out my logbook and, about my day and everything about her. So basically the rest of the day I stayed in the house at the island reading my magazines and looking at my phone. And she, of course, she did her laps around the pool after she ate. Then she brings in her dishes after she took a little snooze. This was her routine. And then she came in and she started washing her dishes, and it was like almost time for my shift to be over. I think I had like 40 minutes left. And I was like, oh my God, these 40 minutes are killing me right now. And she's washing her dishes, and she dries off her her plate and she puts it up. She looks at me and then she looks at the clock and then she looks at me and she goes, "You have 40 minutes left, but that's too long. You can leave now." I said, "Thank you, Jesus." I stood up and I said, "Thank you, Jesus." And I said, "Okay, bye." And I grabbed my purse and my bag and she goes, "Don't call me Jesus. That's blasphemy." And I'm like thinking in my head, oh my God. I'm just like, oh my God. I didn't even log out on the phone. I did not. I was like, that was enough for me. She told me to get out again. So I got in my car and I called my boss and I said she kicked me out again and she wouldn't let me log out. And, you know, she was very hateful and ugly to me again. And I was telling him about what happened. He's like, "Oh my God, you know, I'm so sorry." I would apologize. Of course, every time I went to the door, she followed right behind me because she had to lock it. She wanted to make sure my ass was locked out. As I was walking out, you know, of course I did my famous line, "Okay, bye, I love you." But under my breath, I was like, "No, I don't, because you're evil." But I still said it. Every day I said it. And then she just shut the door. So then I went and called my boss and I just drove home. And I was like, oh, I said, I hope she kicks me out every day early. That'd be fine with me. But yeah, that was the 4th day with her. Wait till you hear about the family photos in the next video. Not next video, but next time I tell another story of her about the family photos. Oh my God. Even when I'm telling it, I make myself laugh because it is pretty funny. But back then, it was not funny.